Hi, this is Tom. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to attempt to do a web app from soup to nuts on the subject of the Revolutionary War. And to get started, I'm went to Gemini and asked it, please write out a knowledge base I can use for a web app on the Revolutionary War. And it wrote this. And I don't know how long this took because I didn't watch, but at most 30 seconds. Okay, so I've got this. Now I'm going to go to Claude and I'm going to start a new chat. There we go. And I put in the knowledge base here. And I'll say, please create an artifact a single page web app I can load in my local browser. Okay. And I think if you just said, just please create an artifact, that would be enough. But here we go. Okay, so now it's going to take the knowledge base and it will create a web app. And this will probably take from 1 to 2 minutes, I think. Now, I haven't tried doing this with Grok, but you can do it with O3, works well. I've heard that O4 Mini also is good with coding. Gemini is really good, and Claude, all three do a really nice job with this. But I really like the Claude apps that I've done. Now, the O3 and the Gemini work over 90% of the time. They'll be right the first time. The Claude apps, my experience is it's not as likely to work the first time. So you might have to have it fix a couple of errors. But the apps look really nice. So I think it's worth the little extra effort. Assuming that happens. I don't know if it will or not. And let's see, how far is it along? It's up to George Washington. Okay, now it's up to Samuel Adams. Let's see, so this is going slightly slower than I thought it might, but that's okay. It's still just going to take a couple of minutes. Battle of Bunker Hill. And let's see, let's take a look at the knowledge base here so I can see how far along it is. Boy, that's not being cooperative, is it? Maybe let's just take a look at our picture. So this, I had Midjourney do a picture, just I gave it Revolutionary War, and it came up with these 4 images. Pretty cool. All of the AI stuff is getting better. Okay, let's see if Claude is done yet. Nope, it's still not done. Okay. So this is taking a little bit longer than I thought it would, but the whole thing is still going to be pretty quick. So I'll explain the process while this is doing this. So what I'll do is I will save this to my local. Okay, there, it finished. Good. All right. Oh, it looks nice, doesn't it? Isn't that nice looking? Now, if I can click anywhere, then chances are it's working. Got in there. All right. And so this is common with Claude. So, but you can see how nice that looks. So I'll say, man, I could just give it that, but just please fix. All right, and then it'll fix this error. And in the past, I've had to do this maybe twice. So it might have one more error. Okay, so there you can see how quickly it fixed it. All right. I guess it's not quite done. Is it done? You can, there it is. All right. So let me try again. This looks like another error. All right. So here we go. And I just gave it the error. It's smart enough to figure out that it's got to fix this error. And so the last time I did this, it took twice. So I'm hoping that this one will be good. And yes, okay, that's exactly the same thing as happened last time. So it took 2 times to fix. Okay, and this is working. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a folder for this, and I'm going to call it Revolutionary War, because that's such a clever name. So here we go. New folder, Revolutionary War. Okay. And then I will take the code. So copy, you click on copy, that copies the code. And I'll just use Notepad. And I will copy the code here. And I will save it in the folder that I just created. And the way that this is set up, I need to name it index.html. And I'll talk more about that later. But here's Revolutionary War. Okay, I want to save it as a, I'm going to call it revolutionary, no, index.html. All right, and then save it. Okay, and a cool thing about these single page apps or SPAs is that they'll work in your browser. So I can take the, let me go try again here, save as index.html. Okay, and let me make sure I double click on Revolutionary War. Okay, save. And I can double click. This one probably will work. Okay, so double click on it. And then here's the app. So this is not ideal. It shouldn't go up to the top like that. So I'm going to go to Gemini and have it fix this. But the rest of it looks good. So you can see it's a very pretty app. So that's something nice about Claude. And it's got, you know, all the information here in cards. And here we got a timeline. And let me just take this real quick here. And here's the code. And I'm going to go to Gemini and I'll say, here's a code for a web app. It's scrolling up. When you click on the menus, or it's actually scrolling. I'll just say scrolling. It's scrolling when you click on the menus. Please make it fixed. Okay, and I will give it the code there. And I think it should understand that fine, and it should be able to fix it pretty quickly. And I think it's okay that, like, if I had done this with Gemini, it would have worked the first time. That's my experience with it. But like I said, I do like the way that the Claude ones work. And even when it works the first time, it still likely that there's things that you might want to tweak. So it's not bad to show the process here. And we can still see that, how quick it is. Because this has just been a few minutes. I didn't look to see what time I was when I started. But I'm guessing this has been maybe 5 minutes. And hopefully this will finish up in just a little bit here. So I'll continue and explain the process while it's doing this. So once it does this, okay, I'll check the code again and make sure that it's good enough. And assuming that's the case, then I'll show how to deploy the code. So the way that I'll deploy the code is that I'm going to go to PowerShell, as I'm in Windows, and then in PowerShell, I'll commit the code to my local repository, and then I'll push it to the cloud, to GitHub on the cloud. Okay, now it's done. So that was pretty quick. Okay, and I will copy the code. So here's the new code, and let's see if that finished, if that is successful. Okay, so let me try clicking. Okay, so that fixed it. All right, so now this looks good. So now I'm going to deploy the code. So to deploy the code, I'm going to go to my PowerShell. Okay, so git status will tell me what code I have. And it's the file that we just did in the folder that was created. And I see that I spelled that wrong. Okay, so let me fix that. Okay, and it's a real pain. It's not a problem now because I caught it. It's not. It's not too bad to fix it, but it is a little bit of a pain if you have a typo. So it's definitely good to catch it right away. So let me try git status again, and it says Revolutionary War spelled correctly now. All right, so now I will commit it, or I'll add it. So that's adding it in the things to put into my local repository. And I'm going to commit it now. So I'm committing it with a message, and then I'll push it. And this will put it on GitHub in the cloud. And you can see how fast this is. The whole process is super fast. Okay, so here is GitHub. Right here. Where is it? There it is. And I'll go to my repository, which is called Self-Contained HTML Apps. And it's called Revolutionary War. And here it is right here. And you see now. So it just got it right now. If I click on it, then you can see index.html. So now I'm going to go to Render, which is the web hosting service I'm using. And both Render and, actually, let me grab the name here. Go back to GitHub. And this is what I want to call it, is Revolutionary War. Okay. So I'm going to go to Render. And both Render and GitHub, I'm using the free versions, and I haven't had any problem, even though I have lots and lots of apps. Haven't had any problem with it. So I'm going to do New, Static Site, and then this is my repository from GitHub. That's where the code is. And then I'm going to give it this name. That's the name I want to give the app. And this is also the name of the folder. So by using the name of the folder as the name of the app, that makes it simple. And then here, this will echo, is it's going to write out text saying no build required because it's just one file. And then deploy static site. And now it's going to build the app. And I did have a problem earlier today. Okay, great. No problem. And well, I'm wondering if it might have been because it's Memorial Day. There's a lot of I don't know what it was, but I did have a problem once, but almost never is there problems. And you see how fast that was. That was just a couple of seconds. And now I click on the link here, and then here's the app. And so, what was that? I don't know if that was even 10 minutes. That was the whole process. So now we've got an app here. And if you, for example, just took this address here and sent it as a text message to a friend, they could tap on it and they'd have this app. They could look at it on their phone. You can look at it on your desktop, and you can see it's quite a nice app. And that just took, I don't know, not even 10 minutes, right? Isn't that wonderful? And even put look, even put a copyright thing at the bottom. Okay, well, thanks for watching. And there we built an app from soup to nuts.